doing something.
It's loading a screen.
Are you sure it's not changing pictures?
I'm pretty sure it's loading a screen so he can be
Nope.
bare-chested on screen right now.
This is my proof that, I had kind of gotten into that for a while, so.
What is
My
it?
proof
It's
is...
a tetrahedron.
And
My
what,
proof that the universe exists is that I'm Neo.
Is this guy coming, or?
Yeah, I don't get what the hell's wrong. Oh, he's on.
Do we all know about this guy? Should we get... Oh, is he here? Never
Yeah.
mind.
How about he introduces himself for the people who do not know of him?
Steve, feel free to introduce yourself. It's a pleasure to see you again, Lord.
Are you there, Steve?
Oh, we just lost him.
We just lost him again.
He's we
Well,
just
does everyone here know anything about this guy? Should we explain a little bit?
I know nothing about him, Witch.
Well, I know you do. Does DPR or Johan?
DPR.
Or...
This is
No.
the thing. He thinks I'm not going to strawman him that much. I don't think I could, but
Hey, Steve.
he's not here yet.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
It's still loading.
Yeah, I would know when he's on. But yeah, he thinks he's God. He thinks he can't die.
Well, he thinks he's Christ.
Yeah, no, but he thinks he can't die. He thinks the government, the military knows he's Jesus or the Messiah or something. He thinks that the new Jerusalem will be in Australia.
Well, okay, get to the good... The
He thinks we're inside the Earth.
yeah.
He thinks we're inside the solar system.
No, he thinks we're inside the Earth.
Solar system.
Earth.
No,
Like, I know nothing about him. It's the solar system.
no, the
he-
solar system's inside the Earth.
No, there is no solar system. There's just the Earth, and the sun is like a giant battery, and
Does he have a
Well-
YouTube channel?
yes.
Yes.
Well, solar system, meaning, yes, there's...
He's
a
a
system-
decent artist, though. I say that, but he's a good artist. Okay, good artist, I guess.
Artist?
He draws stuff on his website. He has a website and
What are you
everything.
He
talking
was
about,
an
like,
adjunct
his
professor
diagrams
in
and shit?
Boston.
What?
Are you talking about his, like, diagrams and shit?
No, not the diagram. Like he has a site, and I've seen his pictures and shit. Like they're pretty good.
Where he does actual, like, drawings and
Yeah,
art?
he's an artist.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Steve's here.
Send me a link.
Steve, you there?
Hello.
Yeah, here, guys. Hi.
So
Hi,
why
Steve.
don't you
It's always a
introduce yourself?
Hi, guys. My name is Stephen Christopher.
Nice.
I don't know what else to say about myself. You guys pretty much know. I mean, you guys
Well, DPR doesn't know you.
Okay. Well, I'm telling people that I am the Messiah, the Christ, and going to set up the kingdom of God on earth. And that's pretty much it. I mean, we can go into the cosmology and all that stuff, but
Please
Wait, I got a quick question. Strife was just telling me you do drawings.
yep. It's kind of my profession before I went into full-time Messiah ministry, but yeah.
What do you mean by your profession? Like you did portraits or something, or?
It's more computer illustration, 3D
Oh.
animation, that type of stuff. But yeah, I also did portraits as well. I also did.
Do you have a link?
Excuse me?
Do you have a link? I know it's kind of off topic. I'm just interested. That's all.
Yeah, I could send you.
It's on any of his
Go to a
videos.
website.
I think it's.
How many followers do you have?
I don't even know.
300. Last count.
Do you believe you can heal people?
Yes,
He's gotten people out of comas.
people. If people believe, and also if the situation is very dire, I've done it before.
So who do you actually believe you are? You believe you're Jesus Christ?
The returned Christ. I don't call myself Jesus. Script,
A returned Messiah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Scripture actually says I will have a new name in this.
I just wanted to be clear on
in this incarnate. This, yeah, I mean,
what
it's
faith.
sure. I mean, it's
Steve.
yes, Michael.
Just to ask you, who's the only person that exists, and what is everyone else?
Oh, well, yeah, I would consider myself the only solipsist there is, and so everyone else is pretty much like a automatonic illusion of my imagination.
My question is, are you a Poe looking for just attention?
That's a good question. I've got that question asked a lot of times before, and my answer is no, I'm not.
Well, if you're a Poe, to be fair, you're not going to admit
It's being
it, so it's kind of a futile question.
I had to ask.
Well,
Ask
I
the
mean,
listener
it's
if he's lying.
I mean, you're not gonna. I mean, you're not gonna get either way. If you ask me, you're not gonna get an answer. Basically, if I am a Poe, why would I tell you? And if I'm not, I'm gonna tell you I'm not anyway. So you really got to find out for yourself.
Wait a
What
minute,
proof
isn't
do you have
there's a
that you are the
classical...
Christ?
Are you guys familiar with that classical logic, problem of logic about the liar village? and the
You
truth
mean
teller village?
pretty much the two doors? If one tells the truth and one tells the lie.
Yeah, there should be a way there's a way to ask the question so you can know for sure
Which one would the liar say?
if he's the liar or not the liar.
If he was the liar, which one would the liar say?
If you were a Poe, I forget what it was, but if something like if you were a Poe, what would the oh no, I can't remember. Fuck, I always forget.
No, wait. The question is
There's a way potentially though, we should
village
ask
would.
him and find out
The question
Maybe
is.
you guys.
using pure logic.
Go ahead.
So there's the value of pure logic.
Uh-oh. Did I lose you guys again?
No, you're here.
Okay.
You're here, God.
Just got quieter as on the
Speak,
background.
for we are listening, Lord.
Yeah, that's an interesting logic. I'd like to know. I mean, I don't. Maybe you guys can figure out, how that goes. Basically,
Wasn't it that if you asked the liar if what I mean, wouldn't you if you wanted to ask both of them what village would the liar go to?
I don't know. I'm not familiar with the story.
It's like no, like you ever seen the movie Labyrinth?
No.
Oh, well, it's pretty much like there's two doors and one tells the truth, one tells a lie, and one door leads to your doom, the other one doesn't. So yeah.
Okay.
So pretty much I guess if you say what door would the liar tell me to go through, the one that tells you the truth would tell you the right one, and the liar would lie and say, oh wait, I forget how it went. It went something.
hmm
How old were you when you realized you were the savior?
Right now I'm 46, and so there was pretty much like a time in my life over the period of a few months that kind of transitioned into that thinking ideology. So I would say around just before I turned 40. So it's kind of like almost like a midlife crisis for me. But, so not too long ago.
And what experience basically unearthed that way of
Christ,
thinking?
It's there's
Better
a
way
few
to put it.
there's a few experiences. I guess ultimately it's having the intuitive perception of what we think is reality, that perception crumbling and realizing that it really is an illusion. It really is a fabricated reality where actually people that I interact with are actually an extension of my imagination. However, I view them as not real people. I view them as kind of like an automatonic being. Basically, they're programmed. They're everything is predetermined, and so basically, it's kind of like you're very highly sentient, autonomous people, but you're still computers. You're still just like highly sentient, intelligent beings, and basically, so I would see like very minute instances where the malfunctioning of you guys would just like reveal itself to me, and so it's like, wow, it's just like you guys aren't real. And so basically I would see a lot of occurrences that happen, and it was really kind of traumatic for me because it's not a fun concept to embrace, that there's nobody out there and you're the only person in the world. And so
So I'm curious. Like if I read a little bit of your site, why would you want the people to come with you if they're all just robots to begin with?
to alleviate my loneliness.
But they're still robots.
Yes, it is. Like I said, it's a fabrication. I think the Hindu concept calls it Maya. It's an illusion, basically, to to create the perception. It's also like a divine game where I eviscerate my mind basically, and I just enter this game where I don't have this omniscient quality. I'm just like, I function without any superpowers, it's just, I'm just in it. I'm in the game.
And what's the point of the game?
To pass away my time, it's just a matter of, it's like a challenge basically.
Can't you just end yourself to make it end?
But why? It would be, it's scary. It's for me, it's very scary to be all alone. It's just like, I don't want to be
all
all
alone
alone
to begin with too.
I know.
So what's the point of still being alone if you could not make anything that's not a robot?
Like I said, it's scary to be alone. So it's at least within this incarnation where I don't have superpowers or abilities, and just the idea of it makes me shudder to think that there's nothing out there. There's no material world out there. It's just darkness. That's all there is. And so I create this grand, masterful illusion with all
Where'd
these.
DPR go?
I don't know. Did he hang up?
He must have.
I don't
Okay,
think he was
Steve, I
enjoying
have
the
a question.
conversation.
Can I ask a question?
Oh, he was tired. He went to bed.
Can I talk?
Go ahead.
Yes.
Okay. So Steve, what back in 2009 made you enter the scene of being a public figure?
You mean my arrest? Is that what you're talking about?
Why were you arrested?
Well, I think you know that. I don't like to repeat what I did. I just don't like to go there. But you guys are welcome to find out if you want. You can Google my name and find out. But that was, I don't. Are you trying to, Mike? Are you trying to say that that's when I thought I started thinking that I was the Messiah at that point? No, it was before that point.
I actually think there's a direct correlation between that. There's a psychological, there's psychological issues.
But I just told you it was before that. I just told you it was
more cemented.
my divine epiphany was before that, Michael.
But see, you've made videos saying that you've missed people that were in the correctional facility with you. There are psychoses in which people leave prison thinking that they're entrapped on the planet and having a God complex. That's not something that's uncommon.
It's not a planet, first of all. But anyway, your second point, I'm not sure. I mean, if you want to believe I'm psychotic, go right ahead. It doesn't really bother me. There's a lot of people who think I'm psychotic. So, I don't know what else to tell you.
Don't you think that it's a little selfish, that are a little unfair, that all these injustices that happen to all of us, we feel like they're absolutely real. Some of us kill ourselves over them. And it's all just so you're not lonely. Or that's why you keep, allowing us to go through these injustices just so you don't feel lonely.
What she said.
Well, there's, I guess it's coming from this understanding of divinity where it's rather impotent, and I'm powerless to do anything about that. I kind of claim the pilot washing my hands scenario, basically, where I can't really do anything about it, so please don't blame me for it, basically. So it's, however, there is hope because I'm ascending to ultimately take authority back from the rulers of the world, and then once I do have authority, I can have the potential to change the world for the better. So
define the rules.
But why would you need to get authority from the world if we're all automatons and you're the only being in the universe?
That's what I asked already.
Is a real being.
It's part of, like I said, it's part of the game. I believe that there's a bunch of individuals that are cognizant of my identity, and they will.
A game designed by who?
Wait, can I ask
By
something?
me. There's nobody else. So ultimately, it was me in a different time, different incarnation.
So you're God and Christ reincarnate. God and Christ and the saint, just to be clear.
Yeah, there's just one. There's just one
Okay.
mind, basically.
Go ahead with it.
So basically, everything is just.
Do you
Go ahead.
still feel that the Jews control the world, or as
No, I actually kind of changed my thinking about that.
okay?
There's a question for the chat for Steve. I grew up I grew out of the belief that I was the center of the universe when I was five-ish. Is it not just a cynical attempt to get rich?
No, not at all. I don't advocate. I don't want a dime from anybody. I don't want a penny from anybody. I make that very clear. I have no desire. I mean, there's actually a verse in Isaiah 45, I think it's verse 13, which says, "Not for price nor reward will I build the city and set the captives free." So I mean, that's one of the characteristics that distinguishes me from all these other charlatans who are looking for money. Put a donate button on their website and stuff like that. No, I don't have any desire to get monetary wealth from what I'm doing at all.
Okay, pretty
so
much the second question is the same thing. Dear Steve, last time your freebie savior gifts were some gold Frankish or something. What do you suggest we club together for this time? Maybe an iPad, but yeah, that's pretty much the same as the first.
Yeah. I mean, to me, ultimately, everything belongs to me. Like Psalm 24, the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. So basically, I mean, I'm selling myself short if I'm going to try to get money out of people. I mean, I own everything to begin with in the first place. And so it's a matter of me just
Wait,
disseminate.
how does your ministry work if you don't get the donations?
It's just I'm just disseminating information about the kingdom of God, about setting that up in Australia, and about having people become cognizant and aware of that. And I believe that in the near future, a group of cognizant individuals, I guess you'd call them angels, not really angels, but like humans, but who have intelligence in my identity, will reveal themselves to humanity with authoritative power. So basically, it's a matter of right now, it's like the time, there's like different dispensations. So right now I'm just disseminating information. So it's like a grace period, basically, where I'm just getting my name out there. I'm just, relating to people, communicating with them, and I'm growing in knowledge too. I mean, divinity is
Why would
for
you
my
care about
interest.
relating to us if we are only automatons that exist within your cerebral cortex?
and do we go to heaven,
Because
or,
I
or
desire a
after this
relation.
life we simply cease to exist?
But isn't it having a relationship with yourself? I mean, if we're
Yes,
only
ultimately,
figments of your
yes.
imagination,
Yes, you're an
does it
extension of
really
myself.
care? Does it really matter if you have a relationship with
That's
us?
part of the game. You're an extension of myself. It's like every person that I interact with is like it has your own personality in which I can relate to, but ultimately you're nested within my divine source consciousness. And so,
Okay, but do we go to heaven?
well,
Do
that's
we
the thing.
ascend to heaven as me, as Neo, as
Well, because of my structure and my understanding of the universe, where we're living on the concave edge of the earth, and there's a literal heaven in the third dimension up in the center of the earth. I believe some of the aspects, some of the prophecies that normal Christians try to interpret, but they interpret incorrectly, where it's going to be a literal heaven, a literal earth, because I believe there's a glass ceiling to the sky, and that's actually going to bow down over Australia, and we're going to build this elevator shaft. So basically, like in Revelation 15, we have like a myriad of people on a sea of glass, with fire. We're actually going to have the opportunity to go up on top of this glass sky, and there'll be like a throne room there. So everything's in a third dimension, from my understanding. I don't
is
know
there a
it.
hell?
Well, hell would be considered in my cosmology whatever is outside of Earth. There's a lot of quotes in the Bible that say that.
Okay, what I'm getting at, is there a punishment place, and what are the
I don't.
parameters
I
of
don't think
getting
so.
punished?
I don't think so. I think a lot of scriptures that bring the fear into that, what happens when you die, is more just like a
Okay,
way
so
in which a parent kind of tries to scare a child into doing something. So I don't think so. I
Okay.
here,
don't.
here's what I'm getting at.
One thing, AD. Another question for Steve. Us being constructs of the Matrix. I mean your Matrix. Can you show us some miracles? If not, isn't that a failure of your imagination?
I can show you, but I can't do it. I can't do it at my own will sometimes. It's a revelation of my own kenosis, basically. Kenosis is
Earlier, it sounded like you said if someone were to believe.
that's very possible. Yes, if somebody has the
Well,
faith.
well,
So
kind
my
of broader
question for that is it why, especially if we are supposed to follow you, why not just go to uh, James Randi and prove yourself there, have someone who follows you, or even someone who you know will believe in you, or just someone who believes in you, keep trying until someone does, and show the world so people follow you.
Well, James Randi and his ilk, that skeptic attitude, that is something, I mean, if you read scripture, it says in Isaiah 57, I dwell with the humble and the contrite, the brokenhearted. You know, so he's already coming from a biased understanding, a skeptical understanding. He doesn't have the faith to believe in me. So it's I would say from
yeah, but
his from his point of view, it's impossible to show him
but
something.
you know his tests and experiments, he has nothing to do with those. Those are specifically designed so that is in no way involved in them to remove any kind of you
I
know
haven't
subjective bias in the experiment.
no, I haven't delved into that.
If you do some
I'm just saying.
research into it, you could see that it would be completely legit. And that's why I'm asking, and I guess that's why Wit is
Well, and his experiment
seconding.
would specifically choose people that did believe you to see. I mean,
They did.
that's
Okay, well, that's the thing. Would they believe me, or would they believe this person up in the sky? That's Jesus. You know, do they believe
well.
that I'm the actual Christ?
Are
Well,
they both the
I've
same?
seen enough of his experiments to know that they would have to use somebody who did believe in you, exactly what you needed them to believe, in order that you could do whatever it is.
Okay,
that
well then
you do.
that's that person. I have not come across many people who actually believe that me in this body, in this fleshly body, is the Christ. You know, it's they believe in this concept of Christ up in the
Have you met
sky.
anybody who does?
Yeah, I'm sure I have a couple of people,
So you do
but
have a couple
there's
followers, or
yeah, I would say that there's a couple out there.
Well, that's a good game. That's a good question. This is a good one. If your mind is advanced enough to create this game for you, how long does you expect it will take to crack the code and descend? And if there is not going to be anyone in this other plane, then why bother? Why not just focus on regressing to the state before your epiphany?
Well, first of all, I already am descended. I don't know what do you mean by descend, but
Ascend,
it's a matter.
ascend,
Oh,
ascend.
let me read that question again. How long do you expect it would take to crack the code and ascend? Oh, and ascend. Okay. Okay. Well, I expect it to be there. Like I said before, I believe that we're in a grace dispensation where I'm just disseminating information to people. People getting fairly familiar with me and my ministry, basically. But I do believe that everything is predestined. I would say in a very short future, I will ascend. It'll be a matter of my cognizant ones, exalting me into that position of authority. But I can't give you a specific date. I don't know what's going to happen.
What
So you
evidence
can't
can you
tell the
provide to
future?
us?
wait,
No, I can't give you, no, I can't tell the future. I make guesses sometimes, but I
can
can't tell.
let me ask a question that just seems logically at odds with what you're saying, because when I asked you before whether or not you came up with these ideas on your own or whether you got them from someone else, you referenced me to Cyrus Teed, and from looking at Cyrus Teed, he claims everything you claim, including the part about being the Messiah. So
Mhm.
why? What seems weird to me is that if you were actually the Messiah, why is it that everything you're saying has already been said by somebody else, including? I mean, it's not even novel, you know? Like, maybe if it was like, maybe if you were the first person to claim this, then maybe, at least you could say you're original and novel, but like, Cyrus
Oh
T claimed
no,
he was the Messiah.
sure. I mean, I've even made references to Cyrus T, where I believe it's very possible that I'm his reincarnated soul. So I don't.
Oh, so you're
But
like the
isn't
fourth
that a
Messiah.
generational way? Because technically he died in like 1910, and you were born in like I
Well,
don't
I'm
know.
not sure how it works, but as far as I know, I mean,
I'm assuming it's like the Nickelodeon cartoon Avatar when the last one dies, the new one's born. I'm just gonna guess.
I don't know. I don't know how that goes.
And
so you're
actually,
so you're the fourth Messiah.
Well, I'm not sure. I don't know the number. I have a feeling that there was other incarnations of me, even maybe in filling in the gap between 1908 and 1966. So it's very possible.
Steve.
Yes.
Okay, so you're saying you're the only person that actually exists. We're all automatons. So how does the world actually go on in periods of where you're waiting for your reincarnated state to appear and actually be born? Does the world actually still exist?
Well, like I said before, it's very possible that I could have been a different identity in the past. So I could have been just, it could have been just like a chain link from one incarnation to the next. So, but I don't know. I don't have memory of that. I just have memory of this incarnation. So I just take it by faith that I was around before.
So you're not all knowing.
No, I'm not all knowing.
So how are you God?
I'm not the concept of God in which theists understand God. I don't take that. I mean, you can even look back at Jesus of Nazareth. He wasn't all knowing. Who touched me? A lady, a woman who had a blood issue for 12 years. He didn't know everything. It's not really how it works. That's a misconception that I think that religionists try to ascribe to their God and make him seem more powerful than he actually
I think that
is.
was just
Then what
an
proof do
inadequate
you actually have?
story.
I just have myself and my message, and it's for those who have eyes and ears to see and hear. It's not everybody's going to believe me. That's just the way it works.
But you can understand why we wouldn't believe me,
Yes, sure. I understand why you wouldn't, but ultimately, it's you just got to take me or not take me for what I say, and that I will eventually judge humanity with my seal. Those who accept it with my seal will be saved, and those who don't will not. And so that's what I say. I say there's going to be a judgment time, and I talk about the world being decimated by ice and by the sun stopping, and shelters, people going underground, taking shelter, and getting marked.
But wait. I'm curious about
Steve,
this. Wait, Steve. I'm curious about this. From your model, the model of the whatever you want to call it, cosmology. How does the sun stop? Like, is the Earth rotating around the sun? Like, how does this work? Is the Earth uh is the sphere of the Earth? I guess is that spinning?
No, the Earth is stationary, and the sun is orbiting around magnetically powered inside the Earth, not in the center of the Earth, but it's revolving around in a cylindrical orbit around the central celestial sphere, and so it actually oscillates every 6 months. So it's magnetically powered, and it could stop, and there's a lot of good reason to believe that it stopped 3,500 years ago. A lot of legends all over the world corroborate a mysterious time where the
Wait. My question is, how does lunar eclipses happen?
that would happen with the sun, actually, the sunlight within the Earth, bending around to the other side of the Earth, and there's actually like a shadow zone that is diametrically opposite the sun around the celestial sphere. It's like a conical shadow zone. And so when the moon enters that shadow zone, it gets eclipsed.
Wait, let me ask you something. So in the model, there's nothing outside of Earth then? Earth is like the edge of the universe then.
Yeah, apparently.
And so
as far as we know.
I was watching the one video where you broke it all down, and you were talking about, that we've only dug 9 miles down or something like that. Like,
Right.
but so in your model, then it's theoretically possible, or according to your model, then if you were to dig far enough, we would reach the barrier of space itself.
If that's a good. That's if.
Yeah,
obviously,
if we could do that, we would actually reach a wall to space or something.
That's a problem.
And
That's
to
a
add
big
to that,
if. That's a
Steve, I've got a book in front of me. There's some sort of test you like to do with books to prove your deity-ness. So, how do you do this? I've got a book in front of me. What do I do?
Oh.
We can't see it, right?
Can someone link me to his YouTube page?
I would, but I'd be advertising him, and I was already told not to advertise.
I'm not. I don't know if this is improved, but there's some times in the past where I'll just just tell somebody to go to a book and turn a page. I'll just make up a random page number and point to this 10th word on the page. And sometimes, a lot of the time, the serendipitous outcome of that word is something that is actually very profoundly
Okay,
relevant.
so let's do this, Steve. I've got a book in front of me. What page am I going to?
93.
Hold on a second. Let's go to page 93.
Imagine if it was a dictionary.
Imagine if it was a dictionary. Hold on. I'm on page 156, 140, 106. This is page 96. Nickelodeon. Okay, I'm on page 93.
All right. How about the 8th word on that page?
8th word from the title or the first paragraph?
From the first paragraph, I guess.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, what is it?
Oh, I didn't. I don't know what it is. I would just tell people, tell me what that word is, and if that's something that's relevant to what I'm to attesting whether or not that gives any credence or leverage to the concept of the possibility that there might be some kind of profound.
Okay, I'll play along. Variable.
Variable. Interesting.
So what do you get from that?
Variable. That's interesting. Well, variable. Let me look at the definition of variable. Let's see what it says.
Okay.
Variable.
While you're doing that, could you clarify something for me? You said heaven was
An inverted
like
glass
an
segment.
elevator like leading up to some glass.
Yeah, after likely to
but
change or
it's
vary.
on Earth.
Changeable, inconstant, fickle, fluctuating. Maybe that's you, Michael. Maybe you're variable. Okay, the elevator shaft. Okay.
I'm just trying to distinguish if it's on Earth and if that makes a difference on when the sun is going to collide with the Earth.
Well, no, I don't see the sun colliding with the Earth. I see the sun, like I was mentioning before, 3,500 years ago, and also it's recorded in Joshua chapter 10, where he supposedly commanded the sun to stop in the sky and the moon to stop, basically. And there are actually legends all over the world. You can do it just like a search. You can search geocentricity in Joshua chapter 10, and you'll find a bunch of different legends from Egypt to North America to Central America to Japan, wherever, where they talk about this day and time, or this double day in time, where it actually happened. It stopped. It was a long day, a double day, or a double night, depending on what side of the world you were on. But within the system, within my cosmology, basically, the Earth is not moving, and like I said before, the sun is rotating inside the Earth, and it's magnetically powered, and it has a capability of stopping in the sky. And that's how I see what's going to happen in the end, because I believe there is actually a literal, tangible ceiling to the sky. It's made out of glass, and there's a sheet of ice, a mantle of ice that's connected to this glass. And if you guys know what megacriometeors are, they're just basically large hailstones that have a mysterious origin. They can't understand where they're coming from. They have a flat side to it, and they even have meteorologists specialize in trying to figure out their origin. They can't. They don't understand where they're coming from. They've been falling even way before even aircrafts were even invented. But if you understand that there's actually a literal ceiling, and that's where this ice is coming from, and at the end of time, prophetically, they talk about how all this ice, the whole mantle of ice, will crumble and fall to the earth and destroy, decimate the earth, basically as we know it.
But isn't
So
this,
wait.
But isn't this mantle of ice smaller than the Earth's diameter? I mean, the Earth's.
Yes, it's inside the earth.
Yeah, so it's smaller. So how would it crush the Earth if it's smaller?
Well, it's not going to. I mean, it's not going to destroy. It's going to destroy the surface of the
No,
earth.
but I'm saying this, like, it's smaller than the concave circumference, I guess that's the word.
Yes. Yes.
So how will it crush the Earth if it's smaller than the concave circumference?
It's just like it's not. I mean, it's going to do. I mean, okay, when I say destroy the Earth, I don't mean destroy, obliterate the Earth. I mean it's going to destroy. It's going to crash through people's houses and
No, that's what I'm
roofs.
saying though. That's what I'm saying though. The thing is, it's not big enough to crush every part of the circumference.
Not every part, no.
Yeah, that's
Not
what I'm
every
saying.
part. No, I'm not saying every part. Actually, that's when I say, that's when prophetically you say there's two in one field. One shall be taken, the other not. Basically, that's how I say it's randomly going to just bombard.
Wait, hold on, I got a question. So then what do you make of, like, the Apollo missions? Were those fake, or
Yeah.
what? Oh, they were just all
Yeah.
fake.
Yeah, I would say they're fake, definitely. But that's a whole.
Do you have any, like, evidence or reasons to support that, or do you just assume it because that's what your model demands?
What about all the satellites?
There's plenty of inconsistencies that many different people put out.
What's the
Documentaries
motive?
about that stuff.
What's the motive to pull off that kind of a hoax?
Well, what it is, I think they're tied into a system where basically, if you understand how many corporations are tied into NASA.
You do realize all these corporations are an extension of your mind, though, right?
Yes, it's part of
So
the game.
doesn't that
like I
mean
said.
you're just mind fucking yourself?
Yes, ultimately, yes.
You just like a good mystery?
Pretty much.
But
I mean,
you're the
it's
one
just-
who made the mystery, so wouldn't you know the answer? Oh, that gets...
That's not how it
But
works.
somebody help me out here. I don't know for sure the origins of this. I know I was still a creationist when I heard about this, so for all I know, this could have been from some Nostradamus, like, History Channel Ancient Aliens type special.
What?
But I want to say that I saw somewhere that in like 300 million years, scientists say that the sun will collide with the Earth no matter what.
Never heard about that.
So, and again,
Yeah,
I have no idea where I saw it at. I was still a creationist, so like I said, like I'm saying, it could have been some bullshit on the History Channel for all I know.
Could I ask a question here?
Go ahead.
Okay. So, Jonathan, are you still here?
Yeah.
Okay. So, from everything you've heard, do you believe that Stephen Christ, Lord Stephen Christ, is your savior?
No.
Why don't you believe that Steve is your savior? Besides the fact he threatened to kill the president.
Well, his notion of Maya sounded right. The problem, well, for one thing, I was about to ask this, Steve, is you can say that the moon landings were fake, but our cell phones, for example, some of our cell phones rely on satellites, right? A lot of our communications rely on satellites, which would be in orbit around the Earth. But if the world is a hollow Earth, the concept of an orbit wouldn't work anymore.
No, there's actually, I'm not sure. I think there are satellites up above in inner space, but I don't believe that a lot of the GPS technology is actually just ground-based towers propagating radio signals and having it deflect off the glass sky and triangulate positions.
But we do have some of these. A lot. I mean, it's not all of our communications, but a good portion of our communications are.
No, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with the concept of it. They're actually being satellites within inner space of the Earth, so it doesn't really,
What about stellar parallax?
Well, that's stellar. It works in it. Basically, your line of sight is actually not a line of sight; it's a curve of sight. And another thing about stellar parallax too. It's another indication, not just parallax, but just the movement of the stars across the sky. If you're like traveling in a car and you're looking out the side window, you're going to see objects in the foreground moving a lot slower across the scene than objects in the background. And that's not really how you see the stars. The stars are basically they're all like fixed together. The positions are fixed basically.
Wait, where are these stars anyway? If you're inside the Earth.
Yes, the stars are up. Okay, basically, it's really just like the old Hebrew concept of the universe, where there's actually waters above.
No,
above the sky.
but I'm saying this. If you're saying the Earth is a concave, the Earth's crust is a concave sphere, right?
You said concave sphere, right?
Concave sphere.
Yeah, concave.
Yeah, concave. Yeah, concave.
Sphere.
That means pretty much you can go from point A to point B anywhere, and you can get to the other side of the Earth, right?
No, you still have to go around
No,
the
no, but
inside of
I'm saying if you wanted to, you can go. If you wanted to, you can go straight,
Yeah.
right?
As far as stars go,
Yeah. So where would stars be if the Earth is everywhere
okay, like
around?
I said, basically up in the center, there's a celestial sphere, basically, and it holds water on the concave surface of that central sphere, and so in that water, that's where sonoluminescence is created. If you understand anything about sonoluminescence,
Hold on, Steve. Hold on,
you
Steve.
can create stars in a flask, in a beaker, inside water by reverberating sound. So basically, the way I see stars is actually very small. They're very tiny. They're fine. I mean, their distances are not, light years away. They're close, and they're all fixed inside this water of this inner celestial sphere.
So
Steve.
why would their luminosity be
Can I-
different?
Because they're varying in intensity, and some are a little bit, not much farther away, but some are a little bit farther, more inward toward the sun. But yeah, there's different intensities of the stars, sure.
Steve, can I strive? Can I ask a question here, please?
Actually, can I ask a quick question about how long we're just gonna stay on? Because I gotta go somewhere really quick, and I'm just wondering if y'all gonna
Go
stay
ahead,
on.
AD.
No. I'm just simply asking that, like, how long Strive's gonna be broadcasting
Oh
for? I gotta go
well,
pick up my
I
wife.
don't know. Possibly maybe 1 more hour.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm only gonna be like 10 minutes. So I'll be right back.
Johan, any luck with inspiring philosophy?
No. Hold on here. Let me see if he's.
Wait, let me see if I can get Rand Campbell.
I think
I didn't. Hold on. Let me see.
Rand Campbell.
I'll go see if I can get Rand Campbell.
Guest has an interesting question, 9950. So the automatons, which are a figment of your imagination, create fake moonlands instead of convince the majority of automatons that they are actually real and not a figment of your imagination. Wouldn't that mean that the top tier of said automatons are actually working for you? Yes, I do believe that.
Yeah,
And therefore,
that's kind of what I asked. The whole thing is you have automatons versus other I don't know. It just sounds like Grand Theft Auto to me.
Therefore, can't you achieve anything you need socially by utilizing? Yes, I can, but it's if you understand anything about wanting to have a challenge, basically, like that song for Five for Fighting, the Superman song. It's like, I can't stand to fly. Men want men to ride with clouds between their knees. So it's a matter of just like me stripping away or even the concept of like Christ, don't you think I could have the 12 legions of angels rescue me out of the situation? But it's a matter of just wanting to work in this system where I have this handicap, and I'm just relating to you on an equal lateral basis. So it's part of the game. It's part of the challenge. You handicap yourself. Could you figment of your imagination?
Hold on a second here. I have a question.
Wait. Can you get Rand Campbell? I don't know.
I'll invite right now.
Who?
We'll see if he's ready to come in.
I think I'm gonna cut this after show into parts, because it's gonna be too long.
Okay, let's see. I'm adding him.
Is he on?
go.
Did he say he was okay?
We're
Ask
about to
him.
see.
Ask him before you do it, because it's.
Nickenstein, the curvature of the Earth can be observed with a naked eye from a big hill. Actually, because your line of sight, like I told you before, is working on a curve, there's actually a gap between what you see as a horizon and like when the sun is actually rising. And if you look through, they actually have infrared telescopes.
Wait. How does the sun actually rise then? That's what I don't get.
It doesn't rise. It actually it's an illusion. It's an optical illusion, basically. It's because you're looking at the sun rise on a curve. It's hard to explain in words.
I mean, I don't get this though, because why isn't there light on every side of the Earth if the sun's in the middle? That's what
It's not in the middle. It's like I told you before. It's going around.
Yeah, but what's blocking the light then from hitting other regions on the Earth?
Look. Yeah,
The direction.
The tides go in. The tides come out.
Tides are affected by the pressure within the Earth.
Tides go out.
It's all pressurized.
Sun goes up. Sun goes down. Never
That's not how it
miscommunication.
works. That's not how it works. Okay.
Never miscommunication.
The sun, when it's actually rising, it's an illusion. Basically, it's creating the glass sky is creating this false vault to the sky, basically, but it's actually an inversion of that. So it's actually a convex ceiling to the sky. but it appears
So,
like
so what causes the tides then?
that's pressure. That's etheric pressure within the Earth. Basically, when the sun and the moon are orbiting inside the Earth, it relieves pressure to the air beneath those orbs, and that creates this rise of the water. There's actually high tide is when there's low barometric pressure, and so that works. You don't have to ascribe this concept of gravity, which people can't even understand in the first place. It's not gravity, the gravitational pull of the moon that's causing the tides. It's actually the etheric relief of pressure within this pressurized system that we call Earth.
Nick has a question.
Right, so there's like no gravity in your model, is there?
Well,
What is
gravity,
gravity?
I mean, yeah, gravity, I mean, gravity is just something that, the Copernicans view as something that holds you to the ground. I could just say the same thing. Well, my version of what
What?
holds us to the ground
His
is,
thing, I think,
Well,
if
hold
it
on.
goes by,
Wait. What is it?
Oh,
that
wait,
holds-
hold on. He's about to say something.
Yeah, I was about to say what it is.
He's about to say what it is.
what I'm saying is there's actually an etheric pressure that's actually moving around inside the Earth, okay? And this pressure is actually, is pulling, it's actually pushing, it's not pulling, it's pushing matter to the ground, it's pushing objects to the ground.
wait. So this
Wait,
etheric
wait.
pressure does one
Wait.
thing and then it does a different thing?
Wait, so hold on a second here.
No,
Hold
it
on.
doesn't, it's moving and it's also pushing to the outer edge. And so basically objects with greater densities, like if you have like lead versus wood, like wood is less dense than lead. So this pressure is going to exert more etheric force onto the lead to push that down to the ground. The wood, it kind of semi-permeable, passes through the wood easier than it does the lead. And so,
Okay. So hold on a second here. Hold on. Let me ask.
And get Ace in here.
Let me ask you something here, Steve. So you're telling me that you do know that with what you're saying about our space exploration, you're spitting on almost 35,
that's how I feel.
40
That's how I.
years. Hold on,
that's-
Steve. Let me finish.
That's how I feel about them. They're
Steve,
spitting on me.
Steve, can I finish, please? Okay, so you basically are spitting on almost 35 to 40 years of spatial exploration. Voyager out there about to pass Pluto in about
And gladly so.
780 days. Well, 790 days, but still. You basically are spitting on that little
Yes,
piece of
absolutely.
technological innovation. You're basically
I'm spitting on that. I'm spitting on NASA. Absolutely.
You're spitting on NASA. You're spitting on the
Absolutely.
government. You want to know something?
Yes.
It's every time you say this, it's like you're threatening to kill the president all over again.
Well, that's what you feel. But that's not how I take it. I'm just calling out their bullshit, their lies.
You want to know something? You're the one that's lies here.
See, now you're getting upset. I'm not trying to get you upset, Michael.
You're the one that's lies here, Steve.
I'm just
I
calling
think
out
you're a
the truth.
Poe. I think that you're basically making this whole thing up just to get views.
Well, you're
I think
entitled.
you got a
You're
book
entitled
deal
to have your
for
opinion,
it.
Michael.
I think you got
I'm actually.
work, Steve.
I'm actually kind of disappointed that you actually think I'm a poet. I mean, actually, you're kind of revealing your lack of intelligence there, because I'm being as straightforward as possible.
Dude,
Other
I
people
think you're a
think I'm
Poe. I have thought you're a Poe since we first started interacting.
Who here thinks I'm a poet besides Michael?
Anybody?
Just to be clear, that's a no for me. I don't think so. I think
don't
he's
think so.
genuine.
I think he's genuine too.
Right? To get arrested and just to have that's too much.
Yeah, I see,
There's-
Mike. I don't know. You're in the minority there, Mike. I don't have to tell you, man.
You want to know something, Steve? Steve, they got drugs for people like you.
Mike, you're the one who's actually exhibiting anger and aggression. I'm just trying to be
All
peaceful.
I've got to say is you are spitting on our space program. You're spitting on CERN,
Yes,
our
I
quantum
am.
physics department.
Because they're liars.
You're
Yes.
spitting on everything that this country stands for.
I'm revealing
You're
the truth.
spitting on everything
Oh,
this world stands for. You are a commie.
That's
I'm
it.
revealing the
Okay.
truth.
You're a commie.
Facetious.
I'm revealing the truth. Basically, I see it. It's very clear to me. I mean,
You wanna
the
know
birth
something?
of,
Yeah,
to
you
me,
have
the birth of,
whatsoever. You can't provide proof. You can't give us evidence. You're a Poe.
No, that doesn't mean he's a Poe. It just means he's like most other religious people.
You can't. Okay, so what type of ficked up story is this when a guy comes back and he doesn't have any superpowers?
Do you see the physical, the psychological dynamics of where if somebody is actually closed to accepting a new concept, that it doesn't matter what objective proof you show them, they're still going to say, they're still not going to believe you. Actually, Sam
Give me
Harris.
some evidence.
Actually, I quoted Sam Harris about
Give me
that.
evidence that you're a freaking god.
Basically, it's like if somebody doesn't value objective evidence, what evidence are you going to give them to make them value it? And that's what I'm doing. So
Seriously, give me some evidence, Steve. Steve, give me some evidence you're a Christ.
Like I said,
water when it's not ice, and we'll start talking.
It's futile, Mike, because you're coming from a psychological repudiation of anything I have to tell you, and so I can't help you.
You want to know something? Cure leprosy, end world hunger, and in the financial debt crisis this country's in, then we'll start talking. You prove you're the freaking Christ, I'll write your book.
Well,
we'll
from
get a book deal.
My vantage point, I'm not here to
and we'll go from there.
From my vantage point, I'm not here to back into you. I don't have any burden to show you. Basically, it's actually the reverse, because what I'm saying, if I rise up and am the judge of all humanity, you're going to look really silly.
You want to know something? You're looking silly now, Steve.
Okay, Mike, whatever.
You're the one looking silly right now, Steve. I mean, seriously. You're trying to come on here, an atheist, secular mind.
That's pretty ironic, though, Neil. So.
It would be. It would be. But Steve, you're the joke here. I'm not the one claiming to be a god that came and everybody else is some freaking automaton attacking robot that I basically just created to play with myself. You want to know something, Steve? Every time you talk to somebody, you're playing with yourself.
Why are you getting upset?
I'm not. I'm just basically trying to make it interesting.
So you don't think he's a Poe anymore, or you do?
No. He's a Poe. I'm just trying to create drama here so we have an interesting show. But Steve, you're a Poe to me.
Whatever, Mike.
You want to know something? I'm going to let Yoda take this one away.
Yoda's not in here.
Mike is like the WWF version of the atheists out there, isn't he? He likes to add the drama and stuff. It's kind of interesting. I mean, I understand your point there. I mean, you're I see it very clearly, the way you keep, calling me, wanting me.
Let me ask. I feel like this was already asked, but I don't know if I got a clear answer. I mean, I guess, and you can pose the question to all solipsists, and being I'll say a solipsist sympathizer, if you will, myself, I know how I deal with it, but it seems like you're setting yourself particularly up for disaster in your form of solipsism.
Exactly.
Well, the question is, I know I'm beating around the bush, but like,
no, I'm with you.
If everything is your creation, why aren't you making a better creation for yourself?
Exactly.
Well, no. So that's the question.
I don't know. I would just say that it's like I said, it's part of the game. It's part of bringing order out of the chaos. In the end, having it all fit together perfectly and harmoniously, and it's just part of the game.
So there's a method. So there's a method to your
hold on a second here.
Hold on. He's allowing everything to happen as it is because there is some greater purpose for it all that you maybe not even you're aware of. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Maybe I'm not. Like I said, I can't predict the future, but I do believe that we are on a predetermined path that we can't change. There's no free will. It's just.
Wait, can I take this now?
Go for it.
Thank you. Okay, so basically, you're telling me that you are so much of a sick SOB that you created me to basically question you. So if I go to hell or I don't ascend to the glass heavens that you basically spoke into existence on an inverted freaking universe, you're the sick SOB that did this to me.
Well, I would, if I were you, I'd try to be more objective in thinking that, wow, I'm actually dialoguing with the creator of the universe. And
can you prove it, though? Seriously, you want me to dialect with you, you want me to rap with you, you want me to sing for you, you want me to say, you're the God, you're the God, you're the God, but you ain't giving me freaking evidence. You ain't giving me proof. Where's my freaking proof?
Like I said, Mike, if you understand it, it's an honor to actually be dialoguing with you.
You want to know something? It's an honor when you provide evidence. You want to know something?
Wait, hold on.
First Christ. hold on. Wait, let me finish before I end this thought. You want to know something, Steve? You, at least, I got more respect for the first Christ than I do you. At least that guy had some tricks. I mean, he was able to walk on water, make some water to wine, turn some bread into freaking feed mass
You're
millions.
just hurling insults, though. You're just hurling insults at this point. Let me ask him I want to ask him a real question.
Go ahead. Then I'll continue throwing insults. Who flinging monkey here?
Ah, shit, you're gonna make me forget it. Fuck.
Who flinging monkey?
It's okay. I understand the automatonic malfunction.
You want to know something? I'm about to start flinging poop again if you don't let him ask his question.
God damn it. Hold on. Give me a minute. I lost it.
Okay. Well, you try to remember your question. I'll go back and fling poop. So why don't you have miracles to provide proof? For one, the old guy could provide proof. The old guy had miracles. You want to know something? I think you're a Poe because you can't walk on water without.
Mike, what was the word that you
had
looked
no
up?
superpowers.
I would describe the word that you looked up variable. Like this time around, I'm just gonna disseminate information, make you struggle to believe me or not.
You want to know something? You're pulling a Bible thumping wingnut right now. You're telling me to Google it.
No, I'm saying I'm being variable this time around. This incarnation, this dispensation, I'm being variable in my approach to.
You want to know something? That's a cop-out. You're copping out. If you're the only person that exists, you should be able to do something that
You
proves
found the word.
you're the only person that exists, and that
Variable.
proves I'm an automaton. You want to know something? You are the automaton.
Variable.
You're the automaton.
He's asking. He's asking.
You want to know something?
Wait,
If
stop,
you were the
stop,
Christ,
stop.
you could prove it.
Steven, you got
Enough
a question.
said.
Steven, you
Anybody
got.
The
else
other guy
besides?
can fly. He ascended into the heavens. He was able to fly. You can't fly.
Oh,
You can barely talk to snakes.
hold on. Let me guess this. And, okay, let's say that you were actually... I guess the real question I want to ask is, what is your ultimate goal? Like if what you... It seems like, from what I can gather, is that you would want... one answer is you want people to follow you, right? Is that at least one of the
goal? The goal of the game is to emerge as the protagonist of the entire world and to bring order out of the chaos. It's
Wait,
just like
wait.
a good movie ends, basically.
Isn't the
there's
goal whatever you
chaos,
make it,
and
though?
at the end, everything falls into place with harmony and beauty and perfection and stuff like that. So it's just playing out the game.
And so, do you need us to do that? Do you need followers, in other words, people to believe that you are who you say?
Not necessarily. Like I said before, I believe, and I can't prove this, but I believe that there are a group of people that already know that I'm the Christ, and they will manifest myself in due time. And so,
But I'm saying, but in order to achieve the goal of like saving the world, so to speak, as you put it, you're not relying on like convincing other people to help you do that, right? I mean, whether or not you have any followers, does that...
No, it does motivate me to want to convince people. Definitely. That's why I have a YouTube channel.
But does it matter? But it doesn't matter in terms of achieving your goal, though, does it?
So hold on a second here. The whole point
It's
of you...
Wait, hold on. Let him answer. Hold on. Let him answer.
Okay, and then I'm going back on the poop flinging monkey.
Okay, Neil, stop that. That's getting really annoying.
It's me doing this in this way is it helps me grow in understanding and knowledge and in relations with people, and it's not only helping other people believe in me, but also helping myself
not people, remember,
believe in who I am. And so it's this period of time where I'm not in authority and I'm just relating to on a lateral level. It's a growth process for both of us. It's an interdependent growth process for us both. And so I'm disseminating information. I'm testing. I'm seeing who out there who has enough humility and objectivity to accept what I have to say is going to be.
I hear that, and I really think I have a good place to like understand that in terms of like.
There's a term in.
As an analogy, the kind of story of Jesus, his kind of pre-divinity years, or so to speak.
Yeah.
But even still, it doesn't, the ultimate goal of Jesus would have been accomplished regardless of whether or not people followed him.
Well, in that incarnation, his goal was not accomplished. His goal was being the king
Wait,
of
wait,
the
wait,
kingdom,
wait. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
the
Hold
kingdom of
on.
God.
Neo,
So
stop. Neo,
you're
stop.
telling me the other guy could fly, walk on water, did miracles. Hold
Wait,
on
wasn't
a
that his
second here.
spirit that flew?
Was able to tell when people were going to turn their back on him. Was a fortune teller. Yet you want to save the world without one single superpower.
We
How's
are
that
this.
work?
We are the same person, and we are basically when he spoke of me, and that's why he spoke in the third person. When he said the Son of Man, and he also said the last shall be greater than the first. The last incarnation, me, this in this lifetime, I will have greater authority than him the first time. So it's not just a matter of performing all these miracles. That was part of the whole plan. That's a critical cog in people's foundational
Well,
understanding of
wouldn't you say?
Christ.
Wouldn't you?
So now I'm here in this incarnation. I'm on the precipice of ruling the world. And
Wait.
so it's a matter of just getting all the ducks in a row, having the people, just getting this. This is like a little pre-game show, basically, where I'm just like giving out my information. I'm still on this equal playing field with everybody before I'm exalted into that authoritative
So in other
position.
words, you're kind of giving people just your thoughts at the moment, but you're not trying to convince them that. I mean, you're trying to tell them that you're God, but you're not. You'll do miracles later, and that will convince people.
Yeah, I do believe I will do miracles later. That when faith increases, that it says there's a verse that says that the knowledge of the Lord shall be known as shall be the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the Lord. And so I take that as everybody in the world will know me as the Lord. And so
Wait.
when that happens, that dichotomy, that build-up of faith and understanding, yeah, I'm sure many miraculous
For now, you're
signs
not
will be
too.
achieved.
For
Well,
now,
there's a
you're
lack
not too
of.
concerned with.
No, right now it's
convincing.
just.
Hold on. So let me say something here. You can't do miracles. You have no superpowers. Yet
You
you're
already
trying to
said that,
save the
Neo.
world one soul,
But
one
he already said
automaton
he
at a
can
time.
and he will. He said he can and he will.
But he
And,
can't now.
He's basically
well,
just giving us ideas right now.
There's a
We don't
there's a
believe.
time and a season in Ecclesiastes chapter 3. There's a time. There's a time for giving out information. There's a time for taking action and performing miracles. Right now, the time is just giving out information of my identity of who I am. And so that's how I look at it.
Let me ask: are you going to age and are you going to die? Two
I
quick
don't
questions.
know. I don't know. I think I like to entertain the concept of when the kingdom is actually implemented, that the age process will slow down. I do believe that. Like I'm 46 right now, and I have been aging, so I don't know.
Wait. So
Wait, hold on. Let me
hold
You
on.
stop that.
So you're telling me that you age, you basically.
No, he said he didn't know. Don't. If you're going to ask him a question, go based off what he actually said.
Okay.
Okay. So my follow up to that, I want to ask, since you say you don't know if you're going to age or not, these are open questions to you then, death and aging.
Yeah, I mean, I look at scripture like Psalm 21. It says, I asked for length of days. Let me find that real quick here. He asked of life of thee, thou gavest him even length of days forever and ever. So it's like, I would like to live length of days forever and ever.
So let me ask this. As an if-then question, a hypothetical. If you end up aging, if that's what in fact happens, it seems the question I want to ask is like, at what point do you stop believing in yourself? In other words, that you kind of admit that you were wrong, because it seems like if you're like on the edge of death and you still haven't conquered the world as you claim you would have, at what point in that case would you admit that you had been wrong?
No, I don't. I mean, there's even
Not even then.
Well, look, you can look at it this way. Within my creation, within the people, the automatons within my creation, I mean, they just discovered research about the hypothalamus, that actually they found that you can actually reverse the aging process. I mean, there's scientific advancements.
But my question is, my question is about if you're aging, if you're like 80 years old and you're very decrepit, you're on the brink of death at any, you're really old and you're struggling.
I don't think I would ever stop believing in myself as the only living being in the universe. I don't think I would.
Oh, that's all well and good, but the whole claims to like conquering the world and everything.
That's like I said, it's kind of like a hypothetical question. It really doesn't have any
Well, I'm
merit
saying
right now.
even in that case, if that happens, if that day comes, will you recognize that as an admission of falsehood of what you had been? Would you acknowledge that what you had claimed was wrong? That you
If it
perhaps were
was,
not the Messiah?
like I said, I'm very objective with my perception of what I conclude, and there's times where I retract things. So there's always a possibility that I'm open to different concepts and different ways of interpreting how I view my reality. And so like I said, I'm not going to say no. I will definitely. Okay, yeah. Then I'll possibly retract what I said. No, but ultimately, from my vantage point, whatever time frame, whatever age I ascend to, or however old I get, I'm still, at this point in time, I still fully believe 100% in myself as the divinity for all humanity, and I don't think that's ever going to change.
I mean, I'm
But
just,
prove it.
Wait. Hello, Raw.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
You're
Hello, this is
speaking
Stephen
on the
Price.
Lion Go Show after show, and we have this guy named Stephen Christ on, and you could speak to him too.
Are you recording this?
Yeah.
Okay.
But this is Stephen Christ.
broadcast live, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're broadcasting live.
You want a
Are
link?
you on Vaughn?
Yeah, Vaughn.
Yes.
Okay.
We're one of the.
Okay.
We're almost. We're like, I don't know. I think the 15th position. No, we're not there.
Okay. Who all's in the room? I know that there's Stephen.
Oh well, there was Aaron Raw and DPR Jones on, but they left a while ago.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. So, Stephen Christopher Christ. Well, Lord Stephen Christ, meet Raw 5069. He's a devout follower of the real Christ.
You don't have to do that, Neo.
Yeah, Steve, you can look up my YouTube channel if you want and subscribe.
Yeah, because he believes
RAW 5069.
exactly.
I probably won't do that. I really don't subscribe to
Wait, but you
that
subscribe to
many
me, Steve.
channels. I don't subscribe to that many people. Maybe I will do it in the future, but I can't do it right now. I just
But Steve, you're the
Neo,
Christ.
you could stop that. Just live with it.
Okay, fine. So, Steve. Okay.
No,
Raw.
wait. I don't think
Hold on.
Raw. Do you know of Steve?
Yeah, I know of him.
And what is your opinions?
I don't have one yet.
You know?
Okay. So, Raw, tell me what the second coming of Christ would need to do for you to prove he's Christ. Go.
Well, I know he's not Christ, but
How do you know he's not Christ?
Because God's word says he's not.
How does God's word say that Stephen Christopher Christ isn't the Christ?
That's Matthew 24.
What does it say?
It says many false Christs will come in the last days, saying that they're the Christ.
So is this a sign that Jesus is to come in this lifetime?
No, this is actually a fulfillment of that prophecy that Jesus spoke in Matthew 24, that in the last days, many would come in my name.
Yeah. So does
Yeah,
that
but
mean does that mean that it's the end of days? Since
Yes.
Well, no.
We're in the end of days.
Yeah, but even given that passage, that doesn't rule out that that's not. In other words, if Jesus really does return, right, he will return. There will be an actual person
that's true.
that does return eventually. So the question is, how do you know that's not Stephen right now?
Exactly.
Because there are other prophecies in the recorded word that we have that haven't occurred yet.
Oh, yeah.
Such as,
Okay.
So if he's Christ, he's too early.
Okay, as far as Matthew 24 goes, I mean, there's a lot of, I would say, well, first of all, if you look at verse 34, verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. Well, many people interpret that that generation as the generation in which he said that time in the first century.
The fuck
So
was
that right
that?
there, that right there alone, that verse right there alone, actually kind of nullifies a lot of that chapter. But you can look at it other ways too. I mean, the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, okay, that's, he shall come as lightning comes from the east and the west. I mean, there's a lot of interpretations like that. At that first century time, they didn't even know that they would have airplanes in the future. And I can just easily go up in an airplane and descend upon humanity in that way. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm not the Christ. I said, from my vantage point, in my prior incarnation, I said these things.
Can I ask you this, Steve? Why do you feel that you are the incarnation of the second coming of Jesus Christ?
Echo there.
Neo,
Yes?
it's you're echoing.
No, it's
I am?
Raw.
Oh,
Raw's
was it?
echoing.
Oh, I thought it was Neo.
That's raw.
It's usually Neo.
You want to know something? I feel like you're racist. You're stereotyping right
Wait,
now.
hold on, stop. Let him answer the question. That was.
First of all, have you? Okay, you said you've heard of me. Have you watched any of my videos or visited my YouTube, my website or anything like that?
Well, you said you weren't going to sub me, so why should I sub you?
Well, let's get to the question. What is this? That doesn't have anything to do with the question. He asked, why do you think you are?
Because I believe, like I said before, I believe I am the only mind of all creation. I believe that you are all products of my imagination. I am the God in the flesh. I am Christ even taught in John 3, verse 3. He believed in reincarnation. He went to India. Prior to his Israel ministry and even afterward, he studied the Vedas. He went through all that. So
Steve,
he understands reincarnation.
Steve,
I understand
Steve.
reincarnation.
Can I just real quick throw something out because I got to go, guys. Steve, I love you, and I know God loves you, but you need to put this down, brother. You're not Jesus, okay? And
No, not okay.
thanks. Well,
That's not okay.
This is
that's
what's
your
so
choice.
funny. Is Raw, your theology says he could be. Your theology
hold
says
on.
that somebody's going to come.
Don't
Hold on.
Yeah,
Steve,
isn't that funny? Isn't
I
that funny,
can-
Will? It's just hilarious.
Hold
No,
on.
it is.
I can
hypocrisy.
settle the thing between Raw and Steve, I think. Steve, can you read Acts 1, 10 to 11?
I don't want to, but you're talking
Down
about
in
the way he shall return is the same way he left, basically. Is that what you're trying to?
Yes.
Well, that's to me, I that can mean a lot of different things. I mean, first of all, I don't believe he ever ascended up into heaven. That's a myth. That is totally.
Isn't that like he's spiritually ascended? I think, or something.
Well, no,
That's just
the
what
Gospels. You can't. That's a problem with most Christians. They view the Gospels as like gospel, word for word, and they don't understand that there could be actually deceptions laced within
Wait,
there.
I'm curious, Steve, because this might be a little off, but what do you think of Genesis?
You mean? Are you talking about the creation account of Genesis?
Yeah.
Well, within my cosmology, where the Earth and the sun, it says it was created on the fourth day. Well, actually, that fits rather nicely within my cosmology because basically, in the beginning, there's already water in verse 1, so it couldn't be the beginning of all creation. Light was not the first thing. Water was before light, right? Darkness was before light. So when it says the earth was void, to me it means that the earth, the land, was covered with water and there was darkness. And so my understanding of the foundations of the earth, there's a phrase called the foundations of the earth. It's recorded in Job chapter 38. It's also recorded in Psalm 104 and a few other places where in Job 38 it actually talks about a geometric structure, like a pyramid, basically. It says, where I stretched the line upon it, where I laid it with measures, and I laid the cornerstone. Okay, that indication there, the cornerstone thereof, and the sons of God shout for joy. So to me, that I interpret that as an octahedral platonic solid up in the center of the earth, up in the center, not down in the center, up in the center of the earth. Is actually
The fuck?
this is actually the center of heaven as well. So basically, even prior to Genesis 1:1, you have the foundations of the earth. And at the apex of this pyramid, that's where the light began. And so this light extended from the apex of this pyramid, and it extended to the sun, which was created on the fourth day. I do believe that there was an acceleration in time in creation, just where things were manifest and grow and just had an exponential growth to them. And so with that in mind, things fall into place like that. So you have a firmament, which is created on the second day. The firmament, you're talking about a hard surface, basically, and there's a division between the heavens above, the waters above, and the waters below. Well, that fits perfectly in my cosmology. There's waters above the celestial sphere. It's called the celestial ocean, where all the stars are embedded and they're created by solar luminescence. And they have the waters below, which is the oceanic waters. And so there was a separation that took place probably because of heat. Heat expands elements, and it pushed the heavier elements to the outer edge. And so you created this expanse in between. This firmament separated it, so you have this expanse. So to me, my cosmology, we're living inside the concave surface of the Earth. You have a literal heaven. In many ways, you can actually literally interpret that. And the sun was actually created afterwards, on the fourth day. And the moon was created on the fourth day. So it's in that structure. It fits perfectly. In Job 38, verse 33, it says, "The ordinances of heaven take dominion thereof inside the earth." So you have heaven. You have a literal heaven. Everything is literal. Everything is finite within this universe. You have a construct. You have a physical, tangible, immanent construct of the universe now. It has a finiteness to it. Everything is, it's reality. It's in the third dimensional reality of this heaven. So I call it the hypocrisy when they say, well, yeah, Jesus, okay. If Jesus really ascended after this crucifixion, well, where did he go? What physical plane, what third dimensional plane did he go to if he really ascended? And Christians can't give me that answer. Well, he went into a different dimension. No. It says in 1 John 4 that those who testify of the flesh of Christ are of Christ. Those who don't are the spirit of Antichrist. So if you can't tell me where the fleshly body of Jesus Christ is, you are the spirit of Antichrist. If you can't tell me where he went, I can tell you where he went. He went to India, and he died there. There's a Rosabal shrine in Kashmir, India. That's where he went. That's where his flesh went in that incarnation. But now, in this current incarnation, the flesh is right here. You're speaking to you right now in Fountain Hills, Arizona. That's where his flesh is. So if you can't testify that I am the Christ, you are the spirit of Antichrist. That's how I see it.
Couldn't his physical body go into another dimension? The reason I say this is I write science fiction for fun, and some of it gets into fantasy material. And I did a lot of comparative mythology research, and there was a frequent discussion in various esoteric traditions as well as other religions of a concept called higher frequency planes. And you see these also in, say, the book of Enoch.
Well,
and they describe these as heaven.
You can conjure up a concept of that esoteric, figurative, another dimensional reality realm, but you're still talking of a different dimension. And the whole thing about Christianity is that Christ is in the flesh. He's in the third dimension.
These were material dimensions, though, as they were described in the literature.
So you're saying his flesh went into a different dimension, but it's still a material dimension? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. That's what. You could say that.
So you slide it over into a parallel universe or something like that?
Basically.
Yeah, like I said, if you can't touch it, Thomas, I need to touch his wounds. If you can't touch my flesh, if you can't see, if you can't, then you're not testifying of the flesh. Those who testify of the flesh of Christ are the spirit of Christ. Those who can't are the spirit of Antichrist. That's all there is to it. And so I see that very cut and dry, black and white.
Where if that's a material dimension, though, that would mean that Jesus' body is still in the flesh, even if we can't see it.
Well, where is it? Well, if that's the case, then where is he? Where is his flesh?
It's in a parallel universe.
Parallel universe, then you can't really touch it, though. I'm here in Fountain Hills.
Steve,
that doesn't make it.
Can I say something? Okay. You want to know something? I think this is worth further investigation. I'm planning a trip to Arizona. I'm going to have to visit you, Steve.
Okay, Mike.
What happened to Raw?
Oh, he hung up because I started saying how his theology says that Christ will return, right? Any Christian, I mean, this is
Pretty
what's
much
really
you made him leave.
I guess he said he was on his way out anyway. But
Oh.
this is what's really interesting to me is that it seems like, you know, if let's just say if Christianity is true and somebody's going to actually come back who is Christ, he's going to return as the Christian theology would have it. You know, he's coming back, and it seems like the first people who would deny
Yep.
Christ would be Christians.
Yep. I've been kicked out of churches. Police came. I mean, the Christians don't like me.
Well,
even my old Christian friends. I mean, I used to be a part of the Christian church before I thought it was Christ for many decades, or at least 2 decades, maybe 25 years. And it's just like, it's sad. It's from my vantage point. It's
just a height of irony or something.
I know. It is.
I mean, if anybody should be the first people looking for this next Christ, it ought to be them. But
yep.
I mean, I really think they're more closed off to you being
yes.
Christ than anybody,
yes.
and not even because they know anything about you. Just I mean, I don't know.
No, yeah, you're right. They have a locked dogmatic understanding because they have to accept what the Bible tells them, and they have to interpret it pretty much at face value, and they don't understand. First of all, that there's been encoded not only forgeries in parts of the Bible, but there's actually encoded intentionally from a divine perspective twists in the Bible that actually are, you know, they're diametrically opposed to something. There's the contradictions that are actually intended that way.
So my question to theists, any theist watching, or even Johan, if you want to address this, is like, why don't you believe he could be the Christ, or like, what prevents you from actually accepting him as the Christ?
Well, it was said that Jesus was supposed to come back the same way that he left. So.
See, that's again, you're just relying upon something that you read.
Bible. Right, but that same set of texts, set of texts.
Okay, well, let's look at it that way. Let's look at it in the context of maybe he didn't rise into heaven like you think he did. Maybe he did die and he went into Kashmir and he lived up until he was like 80 years old, or some people even say he lived up to 115 and he died a physical death. And he came, okay, he left through death. He's coming back through birth to me. It's regeneration, it's reincarnation. I could interpret it that way.
Yeah, I mean that verse is so flexible to interpretation. I mean,
could I say something? And it'll be my final thought, and then I'm out of here. First of all, Strife, thanks for having me on. It's always a pleasure. Steve, I've said this to you before in the white flag waved video. I think you need help. I think that the idea that you think you're Christ is something that is a neurological abnormality. I think you're a very smart individual, don't get me wrong. But I think to a degree you know what you're doing, and you know it's wrong to play with people like this.
Mike, every day I relate with you. You're becoming, your views are becoming to me more and more impotent. I don't really care about what you think or what you say. I mean, because you contradict yourself sometimes. You bring this emotional fervor into things. You're instigating. You're being provocateur, and you're not really using ethics, even from your fellow atheists who actually are conducting themselves a lot more proper than you are, and I don't respect a lot of your actions. And so, to me, for you,
I don't respect you because
your opinions don't really mean that much.
You are lying to people, Steve.
No, I'm telling you,
people like they are nothing more than automatons and robotic beings that are nothing more to amuse you.
That's not how I view it. I view humanity.
You view us as automatons.
I love humanity.
Saying that insult.
Why would I not want? Why would I? For my solipsistic understanding. Yeah, you are strawmanning that. Why would I create you if I didn't want to have relationships with you? I want to have a relationship with mankind. That's the whole thing about this symbiotic relationship that I want to establish in the kingdom of God. And that's exemplified in my seal. If you go to my seal page, Seal of the Living God page, you'll understand what it's all about. It's about interdependence between me and my creation. It's about getting along. It's about, a peaceful, loving relationship with people. It's not about treating and looking down at them. It's about having this sense of equality and sense of dignity and self-respect and other respect toward other people.
What?
So,
Thanks for having me on. It's
Mhm.
always a pleasure. Until next time, remember, age of reason's upon us, so prepare.
Whatever that means.
He's still here.
well, we
I
guys,
honestly, I honestly think Steve he was doing that to get
yes,
to bring.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
that's what I think he was doing that whole thing.
He's kind of trying to use me as his pony ride to get views and to get subscribers. I totally see that, and just like
Yeah.
I haven't confronted him on that before. I don't know. He
That's what I figure.
has some issues that
Mm.
I really don't like to entertain. I mean, he'll call me like 3 or 4 times a day.
Yeah,
He'll try.
I heard that supposedly he called you like 5 o'clock, like 3 o'clock in the morning. Or
Yeah, yeah. It's like, dude, what is your problem?
He,
You're
he,
waking
he
up
told
like
me
that.
he's something autistic, so he can't sleep at night. It's really disturbing.
Yeah. Well, whatever his problem is, it's it pretty much manifests itself the way he connects himself. So people can see it. I'm not the only one who can see that, and just the fact that he continues.
Well, you don't have to be God to see it.
No, you don't. You don't. There's a character flaw there. So.
Oh.
It just seems really interesting to me. Like, if you were a Poe, I really think.
I honestly don't think a Poe would actually go to jail or make a
Well,
website where you have to pay.
You would have to be the smartest, like most dedicated Poe in the world. Like,
I don't see how it's smart. I think it's like saying like Neffy. Is Neffy a troll? It's like just too much to just fathom that someone would be going that far to troll you.
I don't know. It sounds to me it's pretty brilliant. I mean, if you could
But
really
what's the
pull that
point
off.
though? What's the
Yeah,
point?
what would be the point? I'm not.
Yeah, like
I'm
I
not
mean,
looking to make
it's not
money.
like he's venom paying eggs.
No, I
It's
think
not like
there's
he's
a real
venom paying
point.
eggs. He's trying to make money. It's not like
I'm
that.
not trying to make money. I'm
To me, the point one of the points would, well, obviously to kind of.
Well, I
point
mean,
out,
unless he wants to be like Johan a little bit, which I've heard that he wants to just make people
No.
believe something and troll them, but that's a little.
Not, that's not always.
I
did that
know,
on
I know, but I'm just saying.
Kind of.
That is
I'd say
one. I guess one reason.
It's a simulation.
well, one of the points could be that Christian theology actually predicts what Stephen Christ claims to be. So, if he was a Poe, one of the really brilliant points he would be illustrating would be the fact that, like,
What?
Christians, almost as, being Poe-like, it would be showing the ridiculousness of Christianity that, like, it should be taking him seriously in a sense. Or, like, this character that emerges and claims all these fantastical things, Christians are supposed to be giving him a lot of weight. I mean, if he was a Poe, I would think like that would be. Do you see what I'm saying? That'd be like the point of the satire to show how ridiculous that is. Like,
But you don't need to be a Poe to do that.
Yeah, you don't need to be.
Well,
I mean, I'm not.
oh, you don't have to be. You could be.
No, I know.
But
just,
the idea
what's
that
the what's like? I mean, it seems more like a.
What is my motivation? I'm not
Yeah,
looking to
that's
get
what I'm
money.
saying though. What's his motivation?
I'm not looking to get
Well,
money. I'm not looking to trick people. I mean, to me,
I mean,
if
Steve, honestly, I think you believe what you say, just like Neffy does. Like he says, when he believes the stuff that he believes, the whole,
Yeah, I don't
whole
give
Earth
that much
ejaculation
credit.
thing, all that stuff. I believe he believes that shit, even though he's nuts. I believe he believes it.
I don't know
I
him
think
to
it's
know what he
giving
believes.
I think it's giving Neffy or people way too much credit to say that they're like that intelligent and that dedicated to pull off such an elaborate hoax.
Yeah, I
When
agree.
you sound
I've said that before.
you sound like Alex Jones.
No, I've said that.
No, like you're like, is this a Poe conspiracy?
I even said that before to people. I'm not that smart to actually concoct this elaborate fabrication. I'm not. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just telling you at face value how I see things, and so.
Which is exactly what a Poe would say if he were a Poe. But yeah, despite that, I
Now,
do
if
believe
you found evidence
that.
of him saying something completely opposite and contradicting himself, then maybe that's evidence he's a Poe. You know,
Not-
but that you have to have evidence of being a Poe, and you would have evidence if you found him.
he's either a brilliant Poe or an idiot, or I mean, that's kind of the
Well, yeah,
dichotomy.
that's how. No, that's what people tell. I've heard that before. I'm either a brilliant Poe
You
or
don't
an
have to be
idiot.
you don't have to be an idiot. You can also be
or
crazy.
I can be
Yeah.
I can be Christ as well.
No, that's
be
a
very
horrible
intelligent.
that's a horrible trilemma.
Well, the
Trilemma.
quadremma.
You know that whole thing. You
be
know,
that, not to be
Lord,
idiot,
lunatic, or
Well,
man, what was how'd it go? It was,
Liar, Lord, or lunatic.
yeah, that
There's
just
two subcategories in lunatic though. You can either be an idiot or just crazy, nice guy and very smart. I'm opting for the second one, but I still don't believe you.
Well,
I don't dislike you. I just don't believe you.
no, just keep an open mind. You know, it's ultimately I really don't have anything to lose whether or not you believe me or not. So it's
well, technically you lose a follower.
technically, yeah. I mean, I'm
Well,
not one.
if you do miracles later, then that's another matter.
Well,
So.
that's why I say keep an open mind. You know, so.
Well, and based off what I
Most
asked earlier, it doesn't seem like it really matters whether or not you get followers. Your goal's not necessarily to even get followers. It's to grow and learn, and
Well,
right?
there's like a song that I like to. There's by a Christian artist, Brian Dirksen. It says, "Come, now's the time to worship." It says, "One day every tongue shall confess you are God. One day every knee shall bow. Still, the greatest treasure remains for those who gladly serve you now." So it's like for the people right now that I'm not in authority yet, for people to be bowing to me and confessing with their mouths that I'm Lord, who they can actually see me as Lord. And they can actually confess that and say, you know, they will gladly accept me now. So that's what I look for. I look for people like that. And there's a few people like that who I've interacted with that are humble enough and meek enough to admit that and to believe that. And so,
and for you to come on here where there are young kids and tell people that you're the second coming of Jesus Christ, okay, you're leading people astray. You need to stop.
How
Okay.
do you know he? How do you know? he's not the guy?
Wait, stop. Let's hear this.
How does he
He's
know?
a fulfillment of prophecy.
Rod,
Jesus
I
said
find you offensive, and I really don't want to relate to you.
that would try to deceive people. If it were possible, even the very elect. Okay, I happen to be one of those very elect,
Are you
and
sure?
I'm not deceived by you. You have within you a demon. Okay,
You are
deceive
deceived.
yourself,
Okay,
and
you really should. I'm offended by your talking right now. Really, you're just like mounting up
Christ, and you are not
doghouse points. You know?
Down right now.
my sheep. Hear my voice,
speech.
and I know them.
Stop it. We have too many people
Okay.
speaking.
You know how many? Okay, if
Sorry,
you
you
can
are
read it,
not
you can
Christ.
even read the scriptures, my
really
friend, and you could see how when people they called Jesus having a demon. Remember, they said he was.
Are
They
not
said Beelzebub was in him, the prince of the devils.
not
So
Jesus.
you know, you really need to humble yourself right now and realize that that it's very possible that Christ is talking to you. You really
He was
need
cutting
to do
out
that.
like crazy.
Well, maybe I was good. I didn't really want to hear him. Maybe it was a divine interruption of his audio.
But no, I may have my issues with Steve, but he has just as much right for freedom of speech as anyone else on this damn planet.
Out of curiosity, though, where
Not
is Raw? I mean, how do you just come on and?
He basically is in the chat. He's still going to be
Yeah,
able
he
to
just
jump
joined.
in
No,
every
I know
now-
he's still in the chat, but I mean, how do you get back? I mean, I know he's on still, but how
See,
do you?
I mean, just think objectively. If I am Christ and somebody is telling me, even a follower who says he's supposedly following me, that I have a demon, that I'm not Christ, you would realize how offensive that is to me.
But
It's like,
Steve, we have our
I don't wanna-
differences, but
Well, I can't control him. Technically, you could, can't you?
yeah, but
Technically, we did. Technically, with this audio problem, we did control him.
No,
So,
but I'm saying technically, you know, since everyone's, yeah.
all
anyway.
kidding aside, though, Steve, we have our differences. I don't believe you're Christ. I think that there's a
Well, I'd
few
like to wrap up this
on there,
conversation.
but for him to come on and basically say that crap to you, you have as much right to freedom of speech as anyone else in this room or on this planet.
Okay,
On behalf
not a
of
planet,
Raw,
Mike.
what were you saying, Steve?
It's not a planet, but go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Inverted
nobody's disputing
inverted solar
freedom of
system.
speech.
But as I was saying though, you have as much right to freedom of speech as anybody else. And
Well,
on
that goes
behalf
without
of
saying.
Raw, I want to apologize. What he did was wrong.
Okay, I'd like to wrap up this conversation. I'd like to leave. If you guys anything just quickly you want to say before I go, but it's pretty much I'm kind of exhausted about talking right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna possibly upload this video and crop it and stuff tonight. I mean, well, technically it's tomorrow.
Okay. Well, thanks for the talk, guys. And I apologize. The last time I was on your show, I was a little bit too aggressive, and
Well, thanks for the apology, since now I'm running the show. I've taken authority.
I just gotta say, we probably have two of the most unconventional theists on the Earth, not planet.
There you go.
Johan and Steve. I mean,
Well,
it's
That
like
is weird. Yeah.
if you just want to see the diversity of Christian.
well, we have rats. We have rats
Christianity out
on.
there.
Well, we have rats on other videos and stuff, but we have Steve on that
Emma.
one.
Yeah.
God, thinking of a name will be a bitch.
Inspiring
All right.
philosophy is coming around my way, by the way.
What do you
All right,
mean?
guys.
With him, so.
Take it
Yeah.
easy.
Two of me is
It's-
See you later.
I mean,
We'll have two of us soon enough.
I'll possibly keep broadcasting for a while. I mean, fuck, I got nothing better to do. But sheesh.
See, the whole point, though, it was perfect. Right there, when Steve said, what did he say? He was like,
I'm sorry.
no. When Raw came in that second time, and what did Steve say? He was like, I am Christ or something, It was like, that's the whole point. If he were a Poe, that'd be like the big takeaway of, like, his satire, is to show that, like,
Well, I honestly think this show.
ought to be, like, really, you ought to really be seriously considering this possibility.
I don't think he's a Poe.
He's not the only person who I've seen think